Welcome to Raider Reach. This is the podcast where we reach out to our school community and beyond to share the inspiring story of our Raiders. From the classrooms to the extracurriculars, let's explore the people, events, and moments that make our district unique. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to dive on in and tell our Raider story. My name's Megan Hogg, and I am the District Director of Communication and Community Partnerships. And I have a really big privilege and honor to be able to be the moderator of Raider Reach. Raider Reach was started about a year and a half ago as our district's official podcast to kind of give a closer look at the Raider stories that maybe you won't hear about all the time, but are super interesting, and we just have lots of hidden gems in this district. I think 4 of them are with me today. You don't think of yourselves as hidden gems, but I know that you guys are, and you all have a different journey to where you got today and a different role that you play in helping our students be successful. So I am continuing our CTE month spotlight, and today we have our ag teachers with us. So we have Mr. Woodrum. Mr. Woodrum, hello.
Hello.
We have Miss Withers.
Hello.
Miss Saunier.
Hello.
And Mr. Harrell.
Hello.
Yeah, so they're all 4 with us today. We got quite a crew in here, and I'm excited about this. Is going to be full of personality, right? Yes, I can already tell. So we're going to let them kind of tell a little bit about their journeys, how they ended up where they are now, and a little bit about their background. So let's start with you, Charlie. Charlie's been labeled as the official but unofficial talker.
The talker
today.
of the group.
Yes.
Oh.
So tell us about your educational journey.
So my educational journey kind of took a tour of East Texas. My first college I went to was Lon Morris Community College.
Yeah.
Well, they went bankrupt after my second semester there. I paid my bill. Apparently some other people didn't. And then the next program I went to was Tyler Junior College. And while there, they decided they were going to sunset the ag program, which is a fancy way of saying they're going to phase it out. Mm-hmm. So then I ended up graduating with an associate's from Trinity Valley Community College in Athens.
And they're still going today,
they're
right?
Still
Just
going.
Want to make sure
they still have a
you
show
didn't
team.
sunset everything.
No, they're good. And then I ended up transferring to McNeese State University in Lake Charles, where I graduated with a Gen Ag degree. So
okay, that's where you got your bachelor's.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. And you're from this area though originally,
yes,
right?
I'm originally from Silsbee. So.
Yes. And our connection is that my dad was one of your teachers.
He was my geography teacher my freshman year.
Yes,
Yeah.
and another one of our guests today too.
Yes.
So, which is the next one we're going to talk to, Abby. Abby also is a student of my dad, so this is fun. It kind of comes full circle. But Abby, tell us about your educational journey.
Well, mine is quite different from the rest of them. I actually went to Lamar University in the elementary education, so I got my bachelor's in that. And then I was a certified teacher, and then I decided, I want to teach ag. So I took my agriculture, national food, natural resources test, and here we are.
Here we are. Okay, so your first year teaching, you did not teach in
Yes,
ag?
I did do ag.
Okay.
I was in Kuntz, now I am here.
Okay. So, but you had an ag background.
Yes.
Which I'm sure all of you,
Yes.
that's going to be a common theme.
Mm-hmm. High school, all the things.
Okay, yeah. So you learned your background as a student there is now helping you here. So,
Yes.
okay, awesome.
Yes.
All right, so you may call you Sammy?
Yeah.
Is that what you go by?
I go by
okay,
Sammy.
Sammy, Sammy Withers. Sammy, tell us about your educational journey.
So I was not a traditional ag kid whenever I was in high school. My sister was, and it just wasn't my thing. But I did LDEs or leadership development
Yeah,
events. I did chapter conducting, and I just really liked to be able to talk in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever I went to college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So my mom had said, why don't you try to be an ag teacher? Because at the time my sister was graduating college when I was graduating high school. And I said, I don't know. And my sister said, there's no way you're going to be able to do that. You don't know anything. And I took that as a challenge.
Yep.
And so I went to Sam Houston State University. I majored in plant and soil science, minored in ag business and secondary education, just in case I decided teaching wasn't my thing. But I realized teaching was, like, the classroom is definitely where I want to be, and now I'm here.
Awesome. And we didn't talk about this a while ago, but Charlie, go ahead and tell us, let's back up a little bit. What classes do you teach right now?
I teach the animal science classes, so that would fall right now. Small animal management, equine science, and then livestock production and advanced animal science, And then also we have a vet tech program that we offer here at the school.
It's quite a few preps
Yes,
that you have
ma'am.
to get ready for each day. Wow. Okay, and then Abby, what about you? What do you teach?
I do the principles of ag, so
Okay,
our freshmen,
intro level.
intro level, yes. And then if they decide to go down the welding pathway, I do the ag mech, so our wood shop
Okay.
class.
No, awesome. All right, so Sammy, you teach what now?
I teach floral design
Yeah.
all day long. I
Okay.
have 5 intros, and then I have my advanced floral design class where we run Go Big Bloom. And then in my practicum, they're also like managers of Go Big Bloom, but they also go to Sherman's and they work with her.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Mhm.
And they just moved, right?
They just moved to by Papa John's. I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So shout out to Sherman's. Thank
Yeah,
you.
shout out to Sherman's.
All right. So Mr. Woodrum, tell us a little bit about your journey.
My educational journey, I started, graduated from Chester ISD in
Oh,
2005.
is it Yellow Jackets?
Yellow Jackets, yep, up in North Texas, about 45 minutes north of here.
No, North Texas.
North Texas. And then I went
Big,
to
big booming town.
Big Booming, 265
People
wonderful,
total.
wonderful souls, good people. And
Yes.
then I went to SFA for a few years, worked my way through school, worked on my networking, politics, and graduated there after a few years. In a degree in agriculture and went straight to worked for about 10 years, and then become a teacher.
Okay. Awesome. So when you were working, did you work in that kind of industry? Were you a welder, or what did you do?
Well, I had my own business. I was a metal building contractor. I worked
Okay.
for Mueller Incorporated for 5 years as like an outside salesman, sales coordinator, and then I started my own company
Oh,
putting
wow.
up metal buildings.
Okay.
And
So that's some cool experience that you're able to bring into this side of things too. So awesome. Okay, so we've kind of talked a little bit. Oh, you didn't tell us what classes you teach, Mr. Williams.
I teach welding and construction.
Okay, which makes sense. All right, so for those listeners who may not be familiar, the ag program at Lumberton, we were just talking about this late before we started, but when I was in high school here is when I think it was just a baby, maybe its first year, and that was a little over 20 years ago. So the ag program has really grown a lot then. I think all we had back then was welding, and then we had auto mechanics at that time. But we definitely did not have FFA. We didn't have, of course, the ag barn. That was built a few years ago. But can you help our listeners understand a little bit about the ag program? It's a lot more than just farming. You know, so what do you have?
It's a lot more than just cows, plows, and sows. Sammy talked about it earlier when she said we have the leadership development events. You know, there's so much that this program has to offer that has nothing to do with ever owning an animal.
Okay.
I think sometimes we get caught up on the cows or the pigs or the chickens, and that's what everybody kind of knows FFA for. But here we really strive to just make kids well-rounded, give them the opportunities that they can be on teams, whether it's speaking events, it's public relation, or learning the creed. That's kind of like our motto that we speak, and then or being on a team where they learn how to do like a little radio script for our LDEs or for their CDEs. I'll let Sammy talk more about that, but she does a lot with CDEs right now, and she's really good at those things.
So CDE stands for
Career development events. So
Okay.
those are going to be based on I don't want to say what's important, but what the industry is.
okay.
Right now, I coach horse judging, which is literally you're just looking at horses and trying to determine which one's going to be the best, which one's going to be the worst.
Mhm.
You're looking at mothering qualities, of course, ones that are going to be great for show or workhorses, and then there's performance, which is just making sure that they know how to ride in a pattern correctly. I teach floriculture, which is just floral ID, plants, pests, diseases, whether you should keep the arrangement if it looks good, cull it if it looks bad. And then I coach farm business management, which is economics in a sense. It's learning how to properly manage like the farm aspect or the business aspect of a farm.
Okay.
And then what else do I do?
Does it?
I did that one. Oh, and I also coach poultry judging.
Oh, poultry judging.
Yeah, so that's a very big contest. That one I think is probably the hardest, just because there's so much that goes into it. And the poultry industry is so big because everybody eats chicken. Like
Mhm.
I don't know somebody who doesn't eat chicken.
Yeah.
You're learning what a good hen looks like for laying, broiler, which means it's for meat, bone-in and boneless. So those are the things you find from the grocery store. You're looking at eggs, the interior and the exterior quality. You're looking at carcasses, making sure they're good. So pretty much that whole contest is learning what can be sold at the grocery store.
Okay. Yeah, and it's so much more in depth than what people just think of when they may go to the fair and see the animals that have been, or the the shows that they
Yes.
go and watch if they've been to those.
I feel like we've got a lot of non-traditional ag kids this year,
Yes.
just because there's so many more opportunities for them to get involved, and they don't want to show animals. And
Yeah.
I can understand that because I didn't show animals growing up. I
Yeah.
played golf, and that was my thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so I didn't have time for it. But we've got kids now who they're going to floriculture, they're going and doing forestry, entomology.
Oh, okay.
We've had a girl be on the barbecue cook-off team at
Yeah.
our county show. She got second place with hers. She
Okay.
never in a million years would have thought that she'd have done anything with the FFA. And we sell programs in Houston. We're going this
At
year
the
to do
Livestock
it.
show in Rodeo?
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's going to be wearing official dress for the first time,
Okay.
and so it's her senior year. Like,
That's
it's just
awesome.
fun to see that they're actually getting to be involved and see that there's other things than just showing animals.
Yeah. No, I love it. Okay, so you kind of talked a little bit about this. I want to kind of zone in a little bit more on FFA. So FFA has been around a long time. Do you guys know? Y'all have to do a lot of historical stuff with that because, I know a little. What my knowledge of FFA is, I was never an FFA, but I moved here from a town that was heavy on agriculture. So a lot of my students were very involved in FFA, and they would tell me about it all the time. I went to their banquets and all the things, and so when the seniors hang up their jackets for the last time and those things that the green hand ceremonies and all the things, I learned a lot about them that when I was there. But so a lot of the things you were talking about, Sammy, was a lot of things that my students did. So you talked about this, Charlie, earlier at the LDE. That's leadership development, right?
Mhm.
So in FFA, correct me if I'm wrong, there's two kind of types of events.
Contests,
You can
yes.
do CDE, which is career development,
Yes.
and then LDE, which is leadership development. So I think that's really important for people to know. I personally probably would have loved the LDE side of FFA whenever I was in school. I had no idea that it even existed. My dad was an FFA, and he would tell me about that. But to me, growing up in Lumberton at that time, we didn't have a strong agricultural program here, so I've learned a lot about it since then. Y'all memorize a 5-paragraph creed. Okay, that's awesome.
Yes.
Love that.
A
Those
lot
are
of-
really great things
That's
because
a
that kind of
contest.
It's a contest.
Yes.
Oh,
Creed
okay.
speaking,
And
LDE.
in
creed,
And in
creed
Spanish,
speaking.
yeah.
I've heard of these things. Yes, and we had a student
She won
Sophie.
second. And
that did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and okay, so when they talk about that contest, that's what they're doing.
Yes.
They're reciting that, and then she did hers in Spanish.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Which is so hard to do.
Yeah.
Well, you have 4 non-speaking
Yeah.
Spanish teachers trying to help a kid speak Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows Spanish, but we don't know how to tell her to put more emphasis on a word or hand signals that go with that, because it's not just reading it and memorizing. They have to make sure they say all the words
It's a
correctly.
presentation.
But
Yes.
they have to kind of like draw you in, like if they were a theater kid.
Yeah.
So-
Also, too, there's questions afterwards that you're asked about the creed.
Uh-huh.
And so trying to be able to give her questions and how to answer them not in English,
Uh-huh.
I think that was the hardest part for all of us, especially her, because there's some things that we say in English that don't mean the
Translate.
same. Yeah, they don't translate very well.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
that was-
Right.
That's probably the hardest contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she did a
so
great
that was a
job.
win all around then. No, I'm thinking of the motto is like learn,
Learning to learn.
Yes.
Learning to live and
live
to
and
serve.
serve. Yes. Okay. That I love that. I remember it was on a bulletin board that was right outside my classroom because I wasn't far from the ag department, and I would always see it, and I see so much truth in that kids who walk by could read it and you could apply a lot of those principles to your life even if you're not an ag. So I thought that was so great for them to know. So again, what was it again?
Learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, and living to serve.
Yes, I love it. Okay. So, all right, so let's talk about the life skills that students gain in ag. We talked about those leadership opportunities, so obviously that can translate many areas, career, that translates to careers. But what are some other things? Because these kids, you just highlighted on, they learn how to present it, and they want their audience to really believe it themselves. So that is a lot of training, and there's a lot of confidence that they have to learn. So what are some other skills like that ag students leave the program with that aren't even have anything to do with agriculture?
I think one of the ones is punctuality.
Okay.
And being accountable for things. With animals, just in general, that animal can't feed itself.
Yeah.
And you gotta feed it every day.
Mhm.
Like nobody else is gonna do it for you. And making sure that it's bathed and its living area is done correctly and
Yeah.
it's clean. And also too, whenever we say that we're doing a practice or we say that we're having a meeting, you're there on time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're gonna start with or without you. And if you
Yeah.
don't wanna miss out, then you need to be there. Especially with our officer team, they get demerits if they're late or if they don't show up on time, because that's an employability skill we want to teach them.
Yeah.
That if you're late to work more than a couple of times, you're going to be penalized for that as well. And I think learning how to give a good handshake,
Yeah.
that's definitely something
He
that we
gives
teach.
one
Look at
every
people
day.
in the eye. Yeah.
Ever
Yep.
stand by the door and shake their hand.
Yep. No, those are definitely skills that any kid could take and go forth and be successful. I think this is perfect because these are some really great ways that the ag program really marries right into the CTE mind model. I mean, yes, it's career technical education, but those are a lot of the same skills that you see across our CTE programs, and that we want our kids to employability, those type of things. And so, yeah, so recently, last year, I did a couple of stories on some of y'all's ag kids, Emma Davenport, and then also Brooke Brinkley. When I had a chance to talk to them about that, they mentioned those things, and raising animals or building these projects, that teaches them a lot of skills of time management, discipline, things that they will learn now that's going to help them be successful later. So definitely see the value in that. So what are some really exciting projects that Mr. Woodrum, what are some exciting projects that you have students working on right now?
We're working on several different fire pits, kind of helping the maintenance department with several different things, projects around the school. We've got a trailer we're rebuilding. We've got the plasma table finally up and going, so we're cutting out signs, cutting out brands for people. It's a 5 to 10 plasma table, and we've got it going, and we've got several different projects going. We're trying to keep them busy, keep them safe, keep them busy.
Keep them working.
Keep them working,
Yeah.
doing good.
Yes. So, yeah, what about other projects that are going on right now that you guys have?
Well, we're about to kick off our show season really hot and heavy here. I leave on Sunday to spend a week in San Antonio with
Okay.
Heifer Kids, and then March we'll be here, and we'll be at Rodeo Houston and YMBL, and that'll all our students' hard work for the year was pretty much about to pay off. And you know, if they, like Ms. Withers said earlier, if they're students that took care of their animals and did what they were supposed to, they're going to be able to reap the reward of that. But if they didn't, then they're going to have to kind of pay the price for that, and have to be self-reflection and be honest about what they did or didn't do over the last several months with their animals. So that's what we're about to get ready to kick that off.
Yeah, I love the timing that we're doing this too, because you're right, this is kind of the crunch time, the final lap. I mean, it's just really, kind of getting everybody over the finish line, and before you all start your big show season. So what are some other things that y'all have going on?
In our wood shop, we're about to start building some raised garden beds, get
Awesome.
ready for that time of year, and ending project certifications, getting those done.
Yeah, and we should really talk about the safety part of that goes into your classes, especially probably y'all's classes, and y'all are doing a lot of construction. Kids have to pass safety tests before they can even touch the machinery or the tools, right?
Exactly.
They have to pass safety tests, and I mean, accidents do happen occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
usually to me.
All right, so when you're talking about college and career pathways, what are some common college and career pathways that you guys see students taking that are still in the ag world? There are some colleges, even in this area, not far from here, that offer programs of study in the agricultural. So what are some of those examples?
A lot of the kids that want to be a vet, they'll major in animal science with a pre-vet
Okay.
concentration. If they want to be an ag teacher, which I know I've had some students that do, they can major in general ag, or they can do like a specification like mine was plant and soil science, animal science, construction,
Yeah.
any sort of thing in that. Then they'll minor in secondary education. And then we've also had a lot too that have done ag business, and they'll go on to work for insurance companies
Okay.
or something like that.
That's awesome. All right. We're going to take a little break and have a little fun. It's our midpoint section here, our Fab 5 questions. These are just rapid fire questions. Some of them were created by students, but some of them, I really tailored to our audience today, or our guests today. But you guys ready to go? We're going to learn a little bit more about y'all.
Sure.
It sounds interesting already. I'm excited. Okay, so I asked this question to everybody. It gives us a peek into your personality, maybe some things that are important to you as a person. Think of one random object in your classroom that has a story behind it or reminds you of why you do what you do.
So I get these signs when we go to different livestock shows. They're normally on the ground and they're thrown away or whatever. And they're like Rodeo Houston or San Antonio or Dallas. They have like just different signs. Like one of them says, no animals in camping area. I think that's the San Antonio one or the Houston. And I like getting those and putting them up throughout the classroom because it just reminds me of just the fun that we have as we go to these different stock shows. Because for like some of these stretches, I'll spend more time with these kids and their calves than I will with my family. So it kind of keeps that kind of fun when you look up and see those signs.
That's funny. What about you, Abby?
I have to say the things that the kids create. So it may be, I don't know, a little piece of wood that they decided to draw on and make a little animal out of it or something. Or a thank you note or something like that. Just to have those memories of them.
Yes.
And I put it behind my desk or on my desk.
And then as you go on throughout your career, you'll have
Yes.
quite a collection, and
Yes.
that will be really special to you.
Yes.
So, all right, what about you?
I've got like a quote of the day on the board that I sometimes let the kids kind of pick out, or it's something that a kid might have said during the day that really kind of stuck out to me that other
I
kids
love
might
that.
learn from.
Yeah.
So I've got that, and then I've got a couple of little things. Like I've got a board on my desk that says honesty is the best policy that kids have tried marking through and writing other stuff on that I kind of have my memories of. But really, those two things really.
All right, Sammy, what about you?
I've got two. My first one is definitely my Josh Dollar wall because I have a whole
Oh,
wall
yes.
of Josh Dollars. I'm part of the Josh Club.
Yes.
I don't know
So,
if anybody else knows about it, but I'm in it.
well, we may have touched on the Josh Club one time, maybe, but the Josh Club. Tell us a little bit about the Josh Club. So that people know
So
this.
Josh will.
Josh is a student.
Yes, he's a student. He's a senior this year.
Yeah,
I'm really sad. I'm not
sad.
going to be getting him
Yeah.
soon. But if you are somebody who doesn't hit other people, you don't cuss, you don't throw things on the floor, and you're just genuinely kind, he initiates you into the Josh Club.
Okay.
And I had him his sophomore year. And so I had a ton of Josh Dollars. We do a Rose Parade project, and he made one especially for every single float.
Oh.
This year he went around and made Super Bowl 61s.
Oh.
He walks around everywhere, or he always makes sure that he comes, especially when he's handing out Josh Dollars, to my room. He's done it for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And
So that's why you have quite a collection.
come around with his notebook and different colored pens and ask people what their opinion is on upcoming holidays or football games or anything. And he just brings a smile to my face, and it reminds me that there's kids that are in the classroom still, even though we're going and doing so much, that still, like, you can impact, and you don't even spend that much time with them other than maybe 45 minutes.
And then they in turn impact you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then I also, I think my other one is just having the random things like random water bottles or jackets or things like that, because it makes me realize that the kids actually feel comfortable enough in my room that they know that if something happens, like, they're always going to have a safe place there.
Yeah.
And so that kind of reminds me of why I do what I do.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, this one's not as introspective. Maybe it is. I don't know. But boots or sneakers? Where do you Harold?
Harold's a Hoka guy right now. I've been rocking those for like
that's
the
what
last
you
2
like.
years. So, yep, got like the old man shoes going right now.
Because you probably do spend a lot of time on your feet. I mean, all of y'all do.
Yeah.
So. All right. What about you, Abby?
Definitely tennis shoes, sneakers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. What? And you, Mr. Woodrum?
I wear boots when I come to town, but I'm mostly barefoot. I'm real big on grounding.
Hey, that's true. I know. I have a really good friend who tells me all the time, you just need to get out on your bare feet in the grass
It makes a big difference.
and just get there
chill.
and just chill for a little bit, and you can reset your whole day.
It resets your whole life.
Yes. Okay. What about you, Sammy?
I prefer to wear shoes. I wear tennis shoes a lot.
Yeah.
You gotta build up calluses on the bottom of your feet.
Yes. Make you stronger. I guess. Yeah. Well, I feel so old saying this. When you get to my age, but I have really terrible feet now, and so I have to wear tennis shoes as much as I can because I can wear my inserts. So I don't get to wear like cute shoes anymore.
That's
That
why Charlie wears his football shoes.
Hey, I
They're
just went
perfect.
ahead and
hey, you
gave
know
up.
what? That's right. I feel that. It's fine. Okay. Early mornings at the barn or late nights at the stock show. Ooh, a lot of lost sleep. I'm sure y'all lost a lot of sleep. I just get exhausted thinking about when y'all take kids to these shows because I know there's no action. There's a lot of action and then there's no action, and there's a lot of action and it's just a lot of waiting.
Lots of naps.
Lots of naps, yeah.
Okay. You find some interesting places to take a nap?
Yes, but
Yeah. And kids, they'll fall asleep with their animal, waiting there with their animal, I'm sure.
sometimes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you an early riser or are you a night owl?
Man, I'll wake up early if I have to, but I'd rather stay up late. I'd rather,
Really?
yeah. Then when I go to sleep, I'd rather go to sleep. So
Okay. Yeah. What about you?
I'm the same. I'd rather stay
Night
up
owl.
late with them
And then be able to sleep in?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I like getting up early.
Yeah.
I like getting up before everybody else, have my peace and quiet, start my day
Yep. Yep.
every morning.
What about
I
you?
like early mornings. I recently took up needle pointing, so
Oh,
in the morning before my
yes.
daughter wakes up or anybody else, my grandma activities, before anybody else wakes up or while I'm waiting on kids to get to the school for contests or whatever, I'll just needle point, drink some coffee, have some time to myself. I feel like no matter what the kids say or they complain about early mornings, like they're excited in the mornings.
Mhm.
They're way happier
They're
in
fresh.
the morning than they are
Yeah.
at night. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
morning. We're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. They'll knock on the window like, "We're ready to go? Are we gonna go get breakfast? Where are we gonna eat
Yeah,
lunch?"
they have all the
Like,
questions
all the
all
questions.
early on.
And then they
Yeah.
talk the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole car ride.
As they chug like 6 energy drinks.
Yeah.
At 7 a.m. And you're
Why'd
like,
you do that?
we have a 2-hour car ride. What is wrong
And
with
then
you?
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah, they gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
and that's
6
it.
times.
Yes, I love it. That's so true. Okay, a favorite FFA memory. This is gonna be hard, I'm sure. What do you have?
When I taught in Beaumont, I had a student that he decided he was going to name his show steer after me, and so it was named Charlie. But by the end of that project, I ended up having to catch that calf more than he did, so I always would give him a hard time about that because the calf would think it was a game and just run around in the pen, and then he would just look at me and I would just walk in there and catch it. So that's one of my favorite
So there's
memories.
a lot of irony there that
Yes.
you're trying to always catch the
Yeah.
cow named Charlie.
Yes.
Okay.
What he ended up the best part of that story is that student ended up winning grand champion with that steer at Beaumont. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
the best part of it. So
Charlie came through.
yes, he did.
Okay, love that. What about you, Abby?
Honestly, in high school, just raising the livestock, going through all their hard times, all the good, all the bad, and then now seeing that in the students, I think that's really interesting to see, like, how much they care.
Mm-hmm.
Because you once cared that much, now you get to see it in them.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool, where you can connect with them on that level and show them the determination it takes and all the hard times, early mornings, late nights. So
It's all worth it. Yeah.
all worth it in the end.
All right. What about you, Woodrum?
It'd be hard like to narrow down just one. It'd mostly be like after the kids graduate 2 or 3 years when I see them out in public and they're
Yeah.
like, man, I'm doing this, this, and this, and I'm doing good, and I appreciate everything you did for me and taught me how to do this. And that just really, that's why I keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just to see them succeed. I've got a young man supposed to graduate from Lamar this May with a degree in electrical engineering. And he's really, he makes more money during the summer and on Christmas break than I make all year.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even graduated yet.
Yeah.
And I talked to him just the other day, and it just really makes me proud whenever they
Yeah.
come through with something like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Love that. Sammy?
So mine's gonna start out bad, but it's gonna be good. My second year here, I was coaching horse judging, and that was the team probably I spent the most on, just because I don't really like horses that much. I know the least about them, but I was trying really hard because the kids wanted to do well. And then almost everybody on the team got sick. But I already paid for the spot, so I wanted to have some kids there, and there were some that kind of knew what was going on. And there was one girl, she was our go-to. She was notoriously late for everything. I actually had to drive to her house and pick her up that morning.
Because
from
she
her
was
house, 'cause
she was
still
late.
asleep.
Yes.
And so we managed to finally get to the area contest, and the kids all said they didn't feel that great about it. They're probably not going to do well or advance because the top 5 advanced to state. And whenever the results came out, we were like 7th, I believe, or 6th, something like that. Like, we were really close. And so we kind of took it for what it was. Well, they had messed up on the results on judging card. That's where we get all of our results at. And we ended up getting 5th. So we got to go to state that year. That was really fun, getting to take them all the way to Lubbock and
With your reserves?
to compete, and they got their Letterman jackets too. So
Yeah.
it was a really fun trip.
So you went to Lubbock for state and that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. I love that. Okay, so if you weren't an ag teacher, what would you be doing? Charlie?
I'd probably be a history coach, a history teacher, and a coach. That's always what I wanted to do. Growing up, that's what I thought I would do. I'm actually doing the one job I said I'd never do in the one school district I never thought I'd work in. So, being from
We're
Silsbee,
so glad you're here.
being from Silsbee, I never thought I'd end up putting on these colors. So
Yeah.
it's been a great time though here, and,
Okay.
and I found something that I really love and enjoy doing. So,
Yeah,
but
that's awesome. What about you, Abby?
If I wasn't an ag teacher, I would probably be a math teacher.
Yes,
That-
Abby.
yes, that
I love
would
that.
be my second go-to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
I never thought I'd be here either.
Yeah.
But here we are. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
that's
it's
awesome.
been good.
And you get to share those things with your students too. you may have a vision of what
Yes.
your future is going to look like, but there might be some really
Yes.
great curves that are thrown your way. So yeah.
Like
All right.
going to college, being an elementary teacher. Now I'm
Teaching high school ag.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it. Okay. Woodrum, what you got?
If I wasn't an ag teacher, I'd probably still be a metal building contractor, a millionaire, or broke. There's ups and downs.
Okay.
So I mean, there's either like both extremes. I'd still probably be putting up metal buildings.
Okay. Well, what you got, Sandy?
I'd probably be a makeup artist. Whenever I was in college, I worked at Ulta, and I was a MAC makeup artist. So I'd probably still be doing that.
See, that's so cool to know about you. Yeah. I love that.
That's definitely what I do.
Well, I definitely would not be good at that. So I might have to ask you some questions to get some tips. All right, we're going to jump back into some of our other our questions. So, what opportunities do students have to compete or showcase their work?
Well, I mean, we have a welding team where we go compete at these build-offs different schools put on, where you actually take a tool trailer with welding machines and everything to other schools. We go to St. Augustine, Newton. We've been to several different schools, Silsbee, and we have to build a project in a time limit out there in the middle of a parking lot. So, and we compete against several other schools that do it almost professionally. I mean, every week, and we usually hold our own, doing a lot better every contest.
Awesome, I love that. Yeah.
You know, when it comes to the livestock side, we kind of talk about it. We have students that show heifers, steers, goats, pigs, and chickens and things like that. And one of the things, and rabbits also, and for our animals that we have that they can show at jackpot shows, which is kind of go on throughout the year on the weekend. And all a jackpot is basically like a scrimmage for that animal, so they get experience being in a show ring, being around new people, and our kids can get better and they can win prizes. Some of them win belt buckles, some of them win banners. Just kind of depends on what that's going on for that show. And then for our other shows that we have that are kind of our big deals, we call them the Texas Majors, which is like Rodeo Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Dallas, and anywhere else I missed. I think those are what we kind of haul to, and our students will go there. Those are like the big shows where people from all over the state will come and compete, and we'll see how we do and have a good time doing that. And then our main focus, we have two shows, which we have our Hardin County show, which will happen in the fall for our students. And that's just for kids that are in Hardin County, get to participate in and try to make, sell, or present their animals and have a good time there. And then YMBL, which is at Beaumont during the end of March, beginning of April. And those are our two main focuses that we kind of make sure that that's what our kids really to focus on and do the best they can. And kind of, you win there, you kind of get bragging rights for the next year. And it's kind of all your friends that you go to those jackpots with and you see all year round, that you make those friendships. You kind of get to see who wins it at that moment, and then you kind of get to remind them throughout the year, if you were able to pull it off, that you beat them and fun things like that. So
because you start seeing the same kind of kid. You see the same kids at all your shows, and so you become friends with all the
we
competitors, but friends too.
And so I call them my adopted students, is what I've started calling these people, these students that I don't teach. They're not even in my classroom, or they're not even in our school, but we haul so much of these jackpots that we'll be like, hey, I have 3 students all in here. Can you save us 3 spots? And they'll do that. We work together and help each other out, because you can get in a bind if you don't have somebody helping. You may forget something at home and need a show stick, or need some shampoo because you left it and you're running out of time. And that's just kind of the cool thing, that you get to have kind of like your show family, get to do that with them and enjoy that.
Well, and you talk about the shows, and we haven't talked about this yet, but the art of showing the animal is a whole thing in itself.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you don't just raise the animal and take care of the animal and make sure the animal gets big and whatever, strong, or however it's judged, but you have to show the animal a lot of, the cows.
Yeah, it'd be
cows,
like
pigs,
sheep and goats. It'd be like comparing it to football players that all they do is ever lift weights and run drills, but never like actually practice how to run plays.
Okay.
Like they know what they're supposed to do. They can do all these things. They're really athletic, and they look like $1 million, but when they go to play on Friday night, they don't know how to play together as a team and work together. And that's one thing we do, is we teach these kids how to show, because a good animal can help you get to a certain point, but if you don't know how to show, you may not be able to win your class or win your division, because that person that may not have a lesser quality animal can outshow you, and they can accent the things that are cool about their animal, as where you're kind of not showing your animal to the best of their ability, and they kind of get overlooked because you don't have them set up correctly or things like that. And the judges will notice that. And so, our goal is, every animal that we have in our barn, none of them are perfect, but they all have some cool pieces about them that we like, or things that for the industry that are important, that we can say, hey, look at this, that this animal does really well. And so as a showman, your job is to show that off to the judge and let them see that, while you try to hide the bad things that they have about them.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So my former students at the district I was talking about, and it was in El Campo, where they had a big ag program. They right after we moved from there, they started a little show where they would invite a staff member if they were participating in a show, and they would teach their teacher, whoever it was that made a difference in their life or made a positive difference in their life. They would teach them how to show their animal. And they had a staff show, and it's hilarious because these are people who have no experience in ag, and they're out there with the stick, trying to show the pig or whatever it is. That was funny. And then, but what I love that you guys helped out with this year at the Hardin County show is our special needs show. And that is really awesome, and giving some other students that opportunity to be able to show those animals. And because a lot of kids love animals, and so just getting them those confidence skills to get out there and show those animals was really cool. That was cool. I love that. Okay, so last question here. Why is agricultural education still so important in today's world, even in a growing community like Lumberton?
I mean, pretty simply, agriculture is so important because without it, we couldn't do our everyday life.
Yeah.
Whether from the clothes we wear to the food that we eat to going up and down the road, 2% of the United States population is hands-on directly involved in agriculture, but then it creates jobs for over 60 to 70% of people.
Wow.
Whether it's transportation or selling, fertilizer, pesticides, or, selling meat or selling products that go to that industry. Agriculture affects so many levels of our economy that we don't even realize, and sometimes we take that for granted. So, in Lumberton, we may there's no big farms or ranches in Lumberton, but yet we have all kinds of restaurants or, stores that, without agriculture, they wouldn't be able to just open their doors.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's true. And then one thing that I think is so great, and we've touched on this a lot, but I can't reiterate enough, is the employability, you said, skills, Sammy, and just the confidence that these kids that participate in these programs, if they do FFA or not, they're in your class and you're teaching them how to operate these heavy machinery tools, and sometimes they might be a little bit scared at first because those can be dangerous.
They are.
But learning how to use them the right way, in the correct way, and be confident in those areas, how to present themselves in public, in those things, social skills even that they gain from these programs is something that I think is just invaluable. If you ever have the chance to go to an FFA banquet, I highly recommend it. You'll have one every May, closing out the year, and just to see the parliamentary procedure in action, and then all of the different traditions that you guys have with your dress, and they're really, it's a very nice event. A lot of work that goes into this, and they get to showcase what they've done that year. I think is amazing, and I'm so glad that our district has invested what it has in our ag program, and I hope that for many years to come be growing that even more. And so I just want to thank you guys for being here today and giving us a little glimpse on what your daily lives are like with working with the students, but also what you get to do, which is impacting students not just this year but in the future. So thank you for what you do and for being here today, because
Thanks for having us.
it's been great, and I love it. So I see you guys, and you guys are very valuable. So all right, well, that's a wrap for today's episode of Raider Reach. We hope that you enjoyed hearing the stories that make our district and community so special. Remember, it's all about making an impact. Our classrooms, the ag barn, and our lives and our world. You can find us on all podcast platforms, so be sure to subscribe, share this episode with others in our community. Join us next time as we continue to reach out and share more Raider stories. Until then, let's stay connected, stay inspired, and let's just keep making an impact. Bye.
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 God bless and go Raiders.
That's right.